Good afternoon and welcome to Monday, December 3rd, 2018 Board of Commissioners meeting is now in session. The Reverend Walter Gallup has been kind enough to come and give us the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. If you could all rise.
Bobby and Commissioners, this is a very special time of the year, the holiday, the Christian holiday, and I'd like to offer, as a part of my prayer tonight, a special recognition of all who serve our community and our country, both in uniform and in civilian clothes, as well as volunteers. Let us pray. God of our nation and our faith, we celebrate this season as a time to remember the birth of the baby Jesus, and with this birth, the hope of peace on earth and goodwill toward men and to all of our neighbors. We have not always been faithful to this wise vision of hope and joy. Forgive us in this past year when in our lives we have fallen short, and give us the opportunity to make restitution and to live in this hope and joy. And instill in us the courage to learn from our mistakes and a commitment to serve you in our community and our nation, and to live with the opportunity of justice and freedom for all of our people. Almighty God, hear our prayer, O Lord, and as your children, we call upon you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Reverend Gallup, thank you for those kind words. You may be seated. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from November 5th, 2018.
Mr. Chairman, motion for approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the next agenda item would be commissioner presentations and recognition of service. If we can have all of the commissioners please come forward into the circle.
First of all, can I have Chairman Hanig front and center? Sir. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, Chairman Hanig, the Board of Commissioners would like to present you with a token of appreciation for the 2 years you've served as Commissioner and as our Chairman to the Board. And we have a nice plaque for you I'd like to present to you. And I did do a little speech for you, Bobby. If you just give me a minute here. Bobby, 2 years ago you were elected to your first term as a county commissioner. And on your first day you were elected as the chairman. You had no experience as a commissioner or full knowledge of the county's activities or as a chairman to the board. But you believed in yourself. And you showed us that you could learn quickly and effectively and become a very effective leader for us. But you believed in yourself, and you never quit. The Board of Commissioners set and achieved many goals through these last couple of years. And as long as you believe in yourself, it don't matter what other people may think about you. You have integrity and honesty, and your obligations are always fulfilled. They say good men are forged in fire. And being someone that helps light that fire is very admirable. Bobby, Godspeed, in your new political journey, and may it not be a short-lived one. And one last thing, I'm sorry, I apologize. In your new office up there in Raleigh, we do have a nice flag that we'd like you to hang up there and remember this county with. And then I'm going to turn over to other commissioners to say some words for you there.
Well, Bobby, you know how much we're going to miss you. You've done a great job this year, the year before, and we're just so proud of you and look forward to you doing great things in Raleigh. Thank you for your service.
It's been a pleasure. It's been entertaining. It's been humorous. We cried, we laughed. But Currituck County is going to miss you in this role, but we're looking forward to you moving up to the big house. So, as well, that was not a pun.
Not in the bad way.
Wrong big house. Anyway, thank you, Bob.
And being one of the taller members here, I'd like to point out that that's it. When you first decided to run here in Currituck, I looked at the credentials that you had, and I thought, God, we're going to be very fortunate to have this gentleman step on board with us. And as you became a commissioner, the chairman, I watched things that were happening here, and I said, he's a short-timer. And you are a short-timer here, but you're going on to represent Currituck County, and I thank you for everything you did here, and I look forward to your future.
Thank you, Mike. And only 3 short comments in
We got the choice.
Well, I concur with what everybody else said, but you've been a tremendous leader, and first and foremost, I appreciate your friendship because we have become great friends, and looking forward to having a friend in Raleigh.
Well, thank you, Marion. You stole a little bit of that. I was going to mention friendship. Bobby and I were out knocking on doors, running around the county together to get elected, and through that, it grew into a great friendship. And I think the thing I'm going to miss the most are the conversations. Thank you, Bobby. And you're a good friend.
I'll make my comments very short. I mean, when in Rome, right? It's been a pleasure serving these 6 folks as the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. I'm so proud of everything we've accomplished in the last 2 years, and it's been an honor to be the one that gets to lead these folks. We've done an amazing job of setting the new board up to be very successful, and I'm looking forward to all that they accomplished just as we did in the last 2 years. It's been an honor to serve the citizens of Currituck like I can never describe. I will always, always be a faithful and loyal servant to the citizens of Currituck County, and I'm humbled to have this opportunity to move forward and serve you at a higher level. Thank you all so very much. And with that, we'll move on. Owen, are you prepared? Okay. I know, just making sure. Marion, we have become great friends. I know you're going to miss Bobby, you forgot to do that. Bobby, you forgot to do this, and you'll probably do it in your sleep, and I appreciate all your guidance over the last 2 years. You've been a tremendous servant to the Currituck County for the last 8 years. It takes a real servant's heart to do what you've done. It takes an amazing commitment. I don't think the folks in the audience understand what that commitment takes. I hope one day someone else in here does, so they truly understand the sacrifices that everybody here makes. You've put yourself out there on boards. I know you just received a very prestigious award last night, and I'm very happy for you for that. I know we haven't seen the last of you. I know you will continue serving in Currituck County. It's been an honor for me, and it's been a privilege for me. And I appreciate your friendship, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike. I know I'm saying the same thing, but it's true. You have a true servant's heart. I don't think anyone logged more miles than you. serving this county for the last 4 years. You are everywhere doing everything, and the level of commitment is beyond reproach. It's been an honor to serve with you. It's been a pleasure to serve with you. I know we haven't seen the last of you. I appreciate you always being prepared for meetings, always reading thoroughly the agenda and being prepared for that, always having notes, always asking questions. I think if we all strive to do the same thing, this county will be just that much better. And I'm looking forward to see what happens with you in the future. Thanks for your friendship, and thanks for all your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I got lucky in December of 2014.
And that's why.
I got elected, and what it gave me a chance to do was to get to know a lot of people in Currituck. And it wasn't just the fact that everybody kept telling me back before I moved in here, this is a good place to live, this is a good this is good. It's a great place. They lied. It is not good. It is great to live here. I've met more people. My phone number will stay the same. I hope to stay in contact with you. These friendships, these acquaintances, whatever it is that I've had, I can't think of a bad one at all. I've had some information given to me. I've had some great conversations. I've learned history. Thank you for letting me be part of it.
I just want to thank the citizens of Currituck County. I've spent the last 8 years serving you, and I've only lived in Currituck a little over 11 years. So I jumped in right from the get-go when I moved to Currituck, getting involved. And I see Mr. O'Neill out there, proudly, because he started this fun for me as far as serving in the county. And I am just humbled, and I just thank each and every one of you. I'm very proud of the accomplishments that I've been a part of, and as the rest of them, you will still see me because there's still great things that need to happen. So again, thank you very much, and I wish the board the best of luck, and just, you guys rock.
Thank you, Mary. I think we're finished with presentations. We may all be seated. Smooth, right? Okay. Ray's our clerk of court, and he's going to swear in Mike Payment.
Bible. Your Bible.
And I just want to thank Bobby Hanig for doing this for me. My wife could not be here tonight, so I was honored to have him do this for me.
It's my honor.
I wanted to thank the Board of Commissioners and Dan Scanlon for inviting me to come out. It's truly an honor to come and administer the oath to the elected county officials. Plus, it also means that I'm still employed today.
Ray was sworn in
This morning.
this morning for his term as our board of the clerk as our clerk. Sorry.
Do you, Michael H. Payment, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and that you'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you'll endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God.
I will.
And do you, Michael H. Payment, solemnly swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of your office of Currituck County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability, and according to law, so help you God?
I will.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, if I could have J. Owen Etheridge, please. sit it down. Oh, no, come up. Owen, if you'd like to introduce your family, everyone, and make a comment before I administer your oath.
These are my three youngest grandchildren, and he was that size when I was sworn in 2012. So, well, I mean 2008. So I'm certainly appreciative of them, and that's why we're all here. Make a better place for them.
All right, if you'll put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Do you, J. Owen Etheridge, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and that you'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
I do.
And do you, J. Owen Etheridge, solemnly swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of your office of Currituck County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability and according to law, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. And so I will not get in complete trouble. This is my lovely wife.
Well played, well played.
All right. It's time to put McCord back on the board. Where's Kevin McCord? You'd like to introduce your
Yeah, this is my lovely wife, Christy McCord, and my father, who I guess is shy about and all, it's Dennis McCord. I'm his favorite child, too. Favorite son.
You'll put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Do you, Kevin E. McCord, solemnly swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States and that you'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability. So help you God.
So help me God.
And do you, Kevin E. McCord, solemnly swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of your office of Currituck County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability and according to law, so help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay, at this time, I'll hand the meeting over to Mr. Scanlon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the general statute of the state of North Carolina for county governments, the first meeting in December, county governments are required to organize themselves. And so with that, I'll open the floor for nominations for chairman to the Currituck County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Scanlon, I'd like to nominate Bob White, please, as the chairman.
I'll second that nomination.
Hearing no other, all in favor of Bob White being the chairman, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. White. You're now the chairman of the Currituck County Board of Commissioners, and I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, sir. And with that, I'll accept a nomination for vice chairman.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Scanlon and Mr. Chairman Mike Payment for the vice chair position.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Motion carries. And with that, we'll take a 15-minute recess to reset the board.
Sheriff, clear the room.
We're back in session.
All right. Everybody quiet down, please. We're back in session. Need a motion for approval of the agenda, and I think we have a couple changes to that this evening.
Mr. Chairman, I move to amend the agenda. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this.
Yeah, it's the first time you had to do that.
Give me a second. Now I know how hard it is to do it.
Right.
Right? I would like to add an appointment to the planning board under new business, nominee for District 1, Commissioner White. And I would also like to amend the agenda to remove new business, item number 1, consideration of Ocean Rescue contract.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion. Second.
Second. Thank you, gentlemen.
Any further discussion?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Motion passes unanimously.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Bobby. I'll get the hang of this. And we're up to public comment. The first person signed up this evening is Ms. Barbara Snowden. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Barbara Snowden, and I live at 154 Courthouse Road. And I appear before you tonight to give you an update on our 350th anniversary, because we're coming to an end of the year 2018. We started about a year and a half ago with a meeting and talking about what we wanted to do. The first thing that happened, and this I will stop for just a second and make a commercial. First thing that happened under the 350th was the publication of our book on the building survey that came out in December of 2017. Now, after that, our first meeting in January, the ones of you who are here, I hope you remember that you received a cupcake with a candle on it to start the 350th. Then we had a public meeting, and the public meeting we had about 30 people from the county, from all ends of the county, tell us what they wanted to do for 350th anniversary. We have some of those people who have worked with us here tonight, and I would like to recognize them by asking them to please stand. Oh, come on, don't be shy. All right, stand up. Mike has left. Mike, I'm not going to make you stand up because you can't, but Bobby and worked with us. Thank you very much for your help with this. At the first half of the year, we spent dealing with the other 16 counties that are celebrating the 350th also. At that point, we brought the official charter, the 1663 charter, to the area. We also brought, which is much more important for us, we brought the journal of a man by the name of Peter Carteret, who organized the plantation in Piles Point at this particular time. We also put together a passbook, which the students, we gave to all 4th and 8th graders in the 16 counties, and then we gave to all visitor centers, and you can still pick them up. If you are a high school, or if you are a student, when you get 16 of these stamped, you are eligible for an iPad, a $95 gift certificate from Apple, 2 years maintenance, and also a pen. And I can tell you that the postcards are to be shipped to Box 44, Currituck, and I haven't had that many entries, so you have a very good chance of winning one of those 5 iPads. Then we also set together an exhibit with 16 panels, and that was the first thing that showed how we're going to work with other groups. The 16 panels talked about the history of the Albemarle, but we also gave each county an opportunity to make their own panel. And the Albemarle Genealogical Society here in Currituck funded Currituck's panel, and I hope you have gone into the library and have seen that panel on display. We have brought the exhibit to Currituck 9 times this year, and over the 16 counties, we have documented that people have seen these exhibits. The last count was 25,000 people have seen the exhibits. Then, the next thing we did was we brought school children, including Currituck school children, to the museum for a day learning about the history. We also created a website and a logo that everyone was used. Then the middle of the year, we changed from working with the 16 counties to local things that we were doing. First thing, the Currituck County Historical Society sponsored 300 Years of Fashion. This was a sellout dinner for the Historical Society. We then built a stock and pillory. Horace Bell built the stock and pillory, and I hope you have seen it out in front of the jail. By the way, the reason it's a stock and pillory, I'm a history teacher, so I have to give you a little bit of history. In 1767, North Carolina instructed Currituck County to build a prison, stock, and pillory. And so that's why we could tie that in with this event. We also started the program by bringing in Dr. Lindley Butler, who was the scholar on the Lord Proprietors, to speak to the county twice. On the 4th of July, we celebrated with young children with cake pops and celebrating the birthday of our county as well as the United States. We've spoken to civic groups, every one of the Ruetan clubs, plus we've spoken to 2 or 3 regional conferences that have been held here in the county. The people, when they met in January, said they wanted to do one thing. They wanted to have a house tour, and the Chamber of Commerce sponsored that house tour. They also wanted a farm-to-table dinner to emphasize agriculture in this county, and we have done that. We have also had a timeline that the library produced, and that timeline is also produced in the program that we had for the 350th, and we published 500 extra of these so that anybody would like to pick up one, they can pick it up at the library or for a member of the Historical Society. So it wasn't just a program for the 350th. It had a lot of very interesting educational material in it. Bobby worked very hard on that, and I appreciate his work with that. You will see that his welcome to Currituck is the beginning, and then there's a history about the Native Americans in this area and the early history of the county, as well as the timeline. Then finally, one of the couple other things that we were doing at that particular time is we wanted to emphasize education. Selena Jarvis, who I'd taught with for many, many years, put together some lesson plans that we put on the website that everybody could use. So education was very, very important. The final thing that we're going to do, and this is our last major event, will be next Monday night. We started with bringing in scholars to talk about this area, and we're going to end with bringing a scholar. Dr. Harry Watson, who is professor of history at UNC Chapel Hill, will be talking about the Lord Proprietary period in the Albemarle at the library at 7 o'clock on December 10th, and that will be our last major 350th event. But there are a couple other things that are going.
The Moyock Library?
What?
The Moyock Library?
No, that's the Barco Library. I may confuse you because we try to kind of go back between Moyock and Barco so that we hit the whole county. The last 2 things we're going to do are permanent things that we wanted to do to remember the 350th. The first thing is I would like to present to each one of you
She's going to make it personal, right? Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Barbara.
Something to show you.
Thank you, Barbara.
That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
The ornament, of course, is a goose, and it says Currituck County, 350 years. And since Currituck means land of the wild goose, that was an appropriate symbol for our county. So that will be one of the permanent things. The other permanent thing that will be here that I do not have with me today, but is in the works, is we wanted something that could be shown to remember the 350th. So we have commissioned a watercolor painting of the courthouse. Not the way you see it today, but the way it was in 1898, because we could document it. We tried to do the 1723 courthouse, but reading the architectural description did not give us enough description to have a painting done. But that will be presented to you later on as soon as it's finished. So I'd like to end with saying thank y'all very much for supporting the 350th, for attending the meetings, for supporting it as you go around in the county. And I'd also like to thank the citizens of Currituck for working with us. We had a very good celebration after we postponed it from September. We had a very nice celebration in November. We had 230-some people sign the register for that event. And then if I had to count the people who came for the barbecue and the rodeo, I could say I had thousands, but I won't cheat that way. I'll just use the number that signed the actual register for the 350th celebration. I think everybody in the county now knows how old we are and how important we are historically. It's kind of nice being the first county in North Carolina. And it's also kind of nice knowing that we have one of the oldest history of all of North Carolina. And one of the things I like to say about this celebration is the birth of North Carolina government happened when they named those 4 precincts and gave them representation. Prior to that, there had not been an actual government of North Carolina. So we can very proudly say we are the birthplace of North Carolina government. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Soden.
Barbara, could you tell us who won? We signed the registry. What township won, had more people represented that day?
Well, I thought it was Crawford, and I miscounted. It's Poplar Branch.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Poplar Branch, yes.
Mr. Hall called me that night and said, who won? And I said, Crawford won. And then I recounted it the other day and realized I'd made a mistake, and Poplar Branch won with the most people.
Did you need to say anything? I saw you reach for your mic.
No, just, Barbara, thank you so much for all the effort. I know it's been a really long year for you, and I, for one, appreciate all the effort that you and your committees and your groups have put into this. I know it's a big undertaking, and I, for one, appreciate it, and I know you're ready for a nice long vacation after Monday. So thank you again.
I will not be around for the 400th.
Well, we never will.
Are you sure?
I said I'm not going to be around for the 400th. So
Are you
you'll have to
sure?
find some other person to look after.
Ms. Snowden, but reading those documents over that day was so just enlightening, and to see those, and I'm glad I was able to do that, because you're right, it's a rare opportunity, and I know Commissioner Hang was there, and I think Commissioner Etheridge was there as well, and it was very unique and very rewarding to see that. So thank you again for everything, and
Yes.
and for being a great teacher as well.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Next person I have signed up this evening is Mr. Paul O'Neill.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Paul O'Neill, 893 Water Lily Road. Before I start my time, I would like to congratulate Mr. Payment and Mr. McCord and Mr. Etheridge on their being elected. Mr. Payment, you won pretty handily with no
Right.
competition, but
Hard fought.
congratulations. And to Mr. Hannig, it's really great to see someone from Currituck representing this district in Raleigh. We're really excited for it, and we know you'll do a good job, so congratulations.
Thank you, Paul.
Mr. White, Mr. Payment, congratulations on Chairman and Vice Chairman, and thanks for all that you do. It's a lot of work, what you do, and I appreciate it. The purpose of me being here tonight is it's an ongoing issue that we've talked about for decades. Mr. Etheridge was up here holding his grandchildren. I remember the first time he got sworn in, he was holding his children, and they were about that size. So it goes way back, and that's the Highway 1142 Water Lily Road, and the lack of maintenance from the Department of Transportation. I do have some pictures I would like to pass around. I believe there's 8 copies there. And we do have a petition that we have, I believe, about 275, 280 signatures I'd like to give to the clerk. And what we're here asking tonight is, we understand and realize that Currituck County does not do roads, because you would never allow that road to be like that if you did. But the Department of Transportation, when those pictures are from the last storm, and some of those pictures are from current conditions that are there now. We have a section where the bank is actually separating from the highway. And I will give DOT credit when it falls in, they do come up there and put a repair to try to make the road a little bit safer. But over the years, the bank has eroded so far now that there's not a lot of bank left to repair, and it just continues to degrade. And the road has a lot of people that travel it. There's a lot of senior citizens. We have a lot of folks here tonight from Water Lily, if you raise your hand, that have signed the petition. And we have school buses, we have fire and rescue, we have there's a campground at the end of the road, and the campers just keep getting larger and larger. And two vehicles cannot pass on that road safely. Well, now the bank is to the position where it's very concerning that someone could get hurt, and we all like to use the worst case scenario. It may not be a school bus full of kids, it could be a single person, but they're no less precious than anyone else. And we just want to ask y'all on behalf of the citizens at Water Lily to ask DOT to come up with a comprehensive plan. Their plan they have now was designed back when I was on the board many years ago, that they said when the road bed is in danger, we'll come and fix it. That's their plan. And so when we call, they'll come and they'll fix the place that's blown out. But it's not just up on the highway past the graveyard. I know you're all familiar with that. It's now also the causeway. You've got a lot of muskrat and nutria activity that's washed the causeway out to the edge of the road as well, and that also is a very narrow road where two vehicles, just regular vehicles, have a hard time. And in one of those pictures there, you see the light pole that's been over. That's where last year a young person hit one of those potholes and went and flipped upside down in one of the little canals on both sides of the road. I realize my time is up, but I do appreciate it, and if y'all could discuss that and help us with that, we'd appreciate it.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Give you a couple more minutes.
There might be one or two that could add a little bit to it. Did I leave anything out? So we just appreciate it if y'all could ask DOT to comprehensively look at the road beyond just Band-Aids.
Sure, we can ask.
Mr. O'Neill, if I can, has DOT been out there to actually look at any
They were
any
out
brass
there.
from DOT been out there to?
I think they were out there probably a month or so ago, and they painted some places where the bank was washing away. But
Not just staff. I'm talking more of the powers that be. Has anyone been out there to?
we've had the secretary of DOT out there in the past. He got in a little casino trouble and spent a little time behind bars, but he did come out there before that happened, and he promised us that they were going to do a comprehensive program to fix it. As a matter of fact, he was about to step in a hole and it probably would have broken his leg if Commissioner Etheridge hadn't have grabbed him before he did it. And we've had the governor's been out there before. This was years ago.
Recently?
No, recently we've had no high authority out there that we're aware of. That doesn't mean they haven't been, but all of you have been up there and you know the condition.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes, we do. All right.
And-
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill.
And let me just a quick comment for the Water Lily citizens. As representing your district, I've gotten emails, the phone calls, letters, the concerns, and again, I grew up down there. With Paul growing up. I've known those road conditions all my life, and I'll get with the county manager, and we'll see what we can do with DOT, and we'll express the big turnout and the number of concerned letters we received, and see what we can do. And we've got some other representatives sitting here too that's hearing it, so we'll work on him as well.
Mr. Chairman, I got to say that if you look at that top left-hand picture on the first, that's where Secretary Garrett almost fell in, as Paul mentioned. Maybe we should have let him fall in. Maybe we'd have got something done, but that was an interesting trip that day.
Well, I have one more signed up, and then I'll see if anybody else would like to come up. And I'm going to get this name wrong, I'm sure. Is it Lenurl Elkin? Is it Elkin? Mr. Elkin? How you doing, sir? Please state your name and address for the record.
Limbo P. Elkin, 1181 Bar Lily Road, Coinjot, North Carolina.
Thanks, sir.
It's hard to come up behind Mr. O'Neill. The only thing I have to say is I fish on the gazebo next door to out front of my house, and 1171 is right next door. And there's stakes sticking up, and there's paint on the road, but it's not you can't patch this. It's eroded back under the bank so far. It's back to the pavement. It's beyond patchwork. You can't come in there and just dump something. You're going to have to come in there and push it back under the bank to fix it properly. And there's other places along there. I'm sure that y'all been down there and seen it. But my only concern is, like Mr. O'Neill said, two RVs cannot pass on that road without one of them getting way over to one side. And it's dangerous, especially right there in front of 1181. I won't go any farther other than that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for y'all's service and y'all's commitment.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
you coming up this evening. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak tonight?
Mr.
Come on up.
Chairman, we can draft a letter and send it to Division 1, correct?
We can.
From the board requesting that this be done.
We can.
And anyone have an
That's,
issue with
that's
that?
definitely going to have to happen.
Then
at a minimum. At a minimum.
And we all can send it to the RD
yeah,
board member.
and we can bring it up at the next ARPA meeting too.
Okay. Yes, sir. Please state your name and
My name
address.
is William Spencer. I live at 978 Water Lily Road. And it just occurred to me when we were talking about the undercuts on the road, and I see school buses every day. And a school bus, they seem to have the policy when they get near somebody coming the other way, they pull off to the side of the road. And this isn't directly related to our petition, but I'm concerned, really concerned, that some of these school buses, when they pull off on the east side, there could be something serious happen, because those roads are undercut and there is nothing left for them to pull off on, except for maybe 2 or 3 inches of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the situation is bad, and I know it's a difficult fix. I know it takes money and a lot of effort to actually do what needs to be done, but maybe the state could come up with anything that would help. I mean, speed bumps might help, and there are other things that could help in the short term and the long term. But I think long term, I understand it's financially difficult to deal with this road, and whatever solution is going to be long term. But we really do appreciate anything that y'all can do to help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have anyone else who'd like to speak this evening? Okay.
I have one quick question. Is the speed limit on all of Water Lily Road 25?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. It's recommended. All right. With that, I'll close public comment and go to Commissioner's report. And I guess I'll kick that off this evening. This past weekend, myself and I want to call on the chairman, Bobby Hanig, and I attended the Epicurean dinner at the Whalehead Club for the second year. And it was outstanding. And I just want to thank the county staff for the job that they did, the effort that was put into it to make it a memorable occasion for us, and prepare the house. Everything soup to nuts was just outstanding. Everybody showed up in costume except us in 20s gear. So
I was in costume.
Staff.
I was in costume.
That jacket could have been worn in the 20s. It was a. I don't know if they had that color red, but anyway, it was just a great time, and my hats are off to the county staff. We just have some amazing individuals that work here. You've talked about it, I think, probably every meeting for the last 2 years, but We truly do, and are blessed to have those individuals that care enough to do these things for us and put in the extra time. And that's it for me this evening. And Miss Kitty said she would like to go second this evening, so
I told
call
you
on
first, but
Right.
that's okay. Well, folks, it's December and Christmas is right around the corner. The annual tree lighting and parade will be held Friday, December the 8th at the community park. Activities and games start at 5:30. The tree lighting is at 6:30 and the parade's at 7 o'clock. And December also means Operation Santa. This is a wonderful way for you to help people in your county who are less fortunate. Our Department of Social Service is collecting donations of money, gift cards, and new toys. And this would not be a success if it wasn't for citizen donations and the wonderful volunteers that we have like Dawn Smith and Joey Davison. So please remember to help others in need. And also, if you're in need of any holiday assistance, the Social Service Department will be taking applications up until Friday, December the 8th. If you know of anybody in your community who might need some help, please get the information to them. Now for some other business. Every 2 years, the County Commissioners Association engages in a process to determine the legislative goals it should seek in the best interests of our counties. This year, I've had the opportunity to serve on the Health and Human Services Steering Committee and the Legislative Goal Committee, and we're really thankful that we know we're going to get a lot done with Mr. Hannick as a legislator for us this year. These goals will now be presented to all 100 counties at the Goal Conference in Raleigh in January. Each county will have one voting delegate to the conference, and I would like to request the appointment as a voting delegate for Currituck County and the authority to attend the conference. Thank you.
Commissioner Etheridge, could you repeat the date on that? You said the parade was,
It's Friday.
which is the 7th, I think, isn't it?
It's Friday the 7th.
7th, yes. I just wanted to make sure we had the dates correct. Okay, I was.
And did you need? Did we need to nominate you to be that
Yes.
voting delegate?
Okay.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to nominate?
I'll make that motion, nominate Kitty as
I'll
a
second.
delegate.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Mr. Beaumont.
I had the opportunity to attend the Corolla Fire Department's Christmas party this past weekend, and it was a wonderful example of a need being expressed to the Board of Commissioners and the teamwork and the hard work done by Chief Melton and Deputy Chief Riley in coming up with a plan and meeting the need of a community. The volunteer, in fact, now it's considered a hybrid, a combination fire department with both paid and volunteers. And I'm not sure there's a better example of where the county and volunteers have worked together that closely and that successfully, but that was clearly an example of one of the finest examples of how, we can get things done. I remember during the discussions last year about how there hadn't really been a structure fire in the Outer Banks in a couple of years, and they've had two this year alone, with no additional property loss, which is kind of remarkable. In fact, I'm going to give accolades out to the county's volunteers because we had another structure fire last week at Sakura in Moyoc. And again, because of the fast reaction of the volunteers and staff, the only facility that was damaged was the Sakura restaurant itself. So kudos to all the firefighters, and even one step further to all of the public safety individuals. So much of what they do goes unseen and unheralded, and it takes something like a fire or saving somebody's life for us to really appreciate the job that's done day in and day out. So and that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Etheridge?
I attended Breakfast with Santa at Moyock Volunteer Fire Department on Saturday morning, and I did have one wish I asked him for, and that was that all citizens of Currituck have a safe and very prosperous and happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I just want to say thank you to the citizens of Currituck for giving me the opportunity to serve you again. It's a privilege and an honor to sit here, and it's very humbling to be back on the board. And I hope that we can fulfill your needs and wants, and we look forward to working with you. And if you need to call me, my number is BR549. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, sir. Mr. McCord.
I'm going to touch on the parade like Miss Kitty did. I'm excited this year. Our sheriff and myself, I won't be participating as Buddy the Elf. My wife made a really nice costume last year. I'd go to the elementary schools while I was on duty, and they were like, hey, it's Buddy the Elf. So this year I'll be leading the parade in a marked patrol car, so I'm excited for that. And I want to dress up as Buddy the Elf. And our sheriff, he was Woody last year. Sorry for throwing you under the bus. But the parade is a great time, and the attendance last year compared to the year before was astronomical. Like I said, there's a lot of good volunteers. I know a lot of the guys. Sergeant Midget at the Sheriff's Department, I know he put in numerous hours, as well as he looped me into putting in numerous hours of getting things set up for that. So make sure everybody attends. It's Friday night, 7 o'clock. I also would like to thank everybody who voted for me, supported me, all that good stuff. McCord's back on the board. Everybody's got his phone number. My phone rings nonstop, pretty much. It's like 7-Eleven. So it never quit ringing when I left the last time. So if you got a problem, just call me, and if I can't fix it, I'll try as hard as I can. So thank you for the support.
Hardest working man in Currituck right there.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Mr. Hanning.
A couple things for me, as I'm sure you figured out that I'm leaving the board. Tonight will be my last night, so I just want to make a couple comments if I could. I wrote them down so I could make it through it, so bear with me. To the Currituck County staff, thank you for your dedication, tireless efforts towards making this county all it can be. It has been an honor to serve you as a commissioner and as a chairman. I'm proud to call Currituck my home, and proud to call many of you my friend. To the citizens of Currituck County, it's been an honor and privilege to serve you, and will continue to be a loyal and faithful servant. That's all I have.
Okay, you got through it. Good job.
Thank you.
And certainly, last but not least, Mr. Payne.
Just want to thank everyone again for the opportunity to serve as commissioner. I know it's an honor, it's not a privilege. I will work hard for the district and this community out here to do the best possible. And I do want to wish everyone a merry and a safe Christmas and holiday season coming up. And to touch base a little bit about volunteer fire departments, as Commissioner Beaumont has stated, structure fire has been up this year. Lower Currituck, which I'm a volunteer at, we had another structure fire last night. A lot of vehicle fires. It just seems like this year the number of structure fires throughout the whole county has gone up as commercial and the numerous smoke alarm calls we get. It's unreal. The call volume has really exceeded. And I read a report which was kind of shocking. I read it on emails today that there was a report that the volunteer fire department staffing is really starting to decline with the number of individuals. Most everybody works, and it's hard to be a volunteer. It's not like it was when the farmers would just jump off the tractors and go out there and you were close to home. But it's so if you can get involved, or if you've got the time to help out as a volunteer, anything that you can do, I know they'd appreciate it, because it is getting tougher and tougher on the volunteers. I know we're getting some good training facilities built in the county. We should be having a fire house, so we can do local training and burn trainings locally as well. So a lot of good things coming up to help support our firefighters and our first responders. I mean, they're involved with those incidents as well. So thank everyone, and as you see them, because there's just a lot going on in the county. We've got to be thankful for all of our first responders and firefighters. And that I just want to say thank you again, Mr. Hanig, for everything you did with this board. And again, just want to wish this board a Merry Christmas, Happy, Safe New Year, and look forward to the upcoming year with this board getting a lot of things accomplished and done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. All right, moving on. Next item on the agenda is recognition and presentation of advanced law enforcement certificates by our newly elected and sworn-in Sheriff Matt Bikert. Come forward, please. And the board will be coming out into the circle as well. Follow the blocker. Hit the hole.
Y'all come on up here. If y'all want to, just grab the one that's got your name on it. Maybe on the side. Grab the one that has your name on it.
No, yeah, it's no white block.
Justin, I got yours. I'm going to read yours.
I was like, you didn't get one. This is a joke.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for allowing the Currituck Sheriff's Office to recognize some of our officers. A few months back, we started really encouraging our officers to obtain their intermediate and advanced certificates. And when they obtain their advanced certificate, we like to recognize them. It is a significant accomplishment in law enforcement. You need about 2,000 hours of training and roughly 10 years in law enforcement. And we think that is significant, and we continue to encourage them to train. Our second purpose here tonight is to let our community know that we at the Currituck Sheriff's Office are training and being educated at the highest levels that we're able. This allows us to put the best officers possible in our communities for Currituck County. So what I'd like to do is read this, and then we'll recognize each officer and give them a pin. It says, by virtue of the authority vested in it by the laws of the state and in recognition of the attainment and training and educational objectives commensurate with the role of a professional law enforcement officer and of personal devotion and service to the people of North Carolina, the Attorney General and the Chairman and members of the North Carolina Sheriff's Education and Training Standards Commission, through the authority vested in them by the laws of the state, do hereby award you your advanced law enforcement certificate. So congratulations. And if I could, I will introduce each. This is Sergeant Mike Corbell, Sergeant Erica Cartwright, Deputy Nathan Wise, Sergeant Audra Doxey, Detention Officer Juliette Tillett, Deputy Justin Cartwright, Sergeant Joey Davison, and Deputy Ernest Harris. And this is, we feel, is a significant accomplishment in their careers, and we're striving every day that they continue to educate and train for the betterment of our community. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners, the county, the people at home for your time, and I want to say once again, thank you very much.
Matt, you have to stick around for a minute.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. 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 And congratulations. And y'all can. Yeah, y'all good. Y'all good.
One thing under our new sheriff, who was sworn in today, Matt Biker, he's huge on education, training. I've been to like 2 different leadership trainings, and I'm going to another training for a week. He's huge on training, which makes our department better. It makes it safer for the citizens, and that's one thing. He's doing an awesome job. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, thank you for letting us stand before you and present an award to our Sheriff, Matt Bikert. U.S. Attorney, we got a call. He couldn't make it today, so he asked myself, Detective Jesse Taylor, Detective Alcock, to present it and asked me if I'd read this. He said in November 2018, the Currituck County Sheriff's Office was identified for special recognition by the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of North Carolina for the office efforts in combating drug crime in the northeastern part of the state. The Currituck County Sheriff's Office has successfully prosecuted or assisted in prosecution of over 15 defendants this year, including multi-county high-volume drug trafficking organizations. The Eastern District of North Carolina is the federal district which covers the easternmost 44 counties in North Carolina. Currituck County Sheriff's Office narcotics detectives were recently recognized for Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, it's called OCDEF, prosecutions during the North Carolina OCDEF Conference for dismantling of Currituck-based cocaine and heroin drug trafficking organization. United States Attorney Robert Higdon asked for us here to present the certificate of recognition to you, Sheriff Bikert, on behalf of the U.S. Attorney's Office. And this certificate we've got there, and he's going to read that to you.
U.S. Department of Justice, United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District of North Carolina. Certificate of Appreciation presented to Currituck County Sheriff's Office. Take Back North Carolina Initiative, Region 1. In recognition of your extraordinary efforts in the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of North Carolina's Take Back North Carolina Initiative. This initiative exemplifies the importance of partnerships between the United States Attorney's Office, District Attorney's Offices, and federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies across this federal district to combat drug trafficking, violent crime, and crimes against law enforcement. Your leadership and commitment to the Take Back North Carolina initiative throughout this district warrants special recognition. Given this 8th day of November 2018, Robert J. Higdon, Jr., United States Attorney, Eastern District of North Carolina.
Oh, thank you. And I have to say thank you to the phenomenal employees that we have at the Currituck Sheriff's Office. I thank God for the employees that we have. And they deserve the credit, not me. I just can't go into the depths of the phenomenal employees that we have at the Currituck County Sheriff's Office. And we are all very blessed to have them, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Let me find. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Kevin Riggs. He lives in Virginia Beach, and he owns property down in Corova Beach, and he'd like to serve on the road service district as the non-resident.
Picking up, this is a unanimous board appointment, isn't it? It is. Okay. We have a motion for approval?
Also moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the planning board, Ms. Anna Hilgendorf, and she will be my appointment. So I'd like to add her to the planning board to replace Jeff O'Brien, who stepped down a few months ago.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Move for approval.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, last item is county manager's report.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. And lastly, I believe you have something to
Mr. Chairman, if I may have the floor, I respectfully am submitting my resignation as of midnight December 4th for your consideration. It has been an absolute pleasure serving with all of you. The friendships, guidance, lessons learned, experience, and most of all, the laughs will be something I cherish for the many years to come. I'm extremely proud of all that we have accomplished in these 2 short years and tremendously grateful for everyone's willingness to work together to help make this great county just that much better than when we got here. You should all congratulate yourselves on a job well done. I truly believe we have set an example of what a good board and staff can do together as a team. It has been an honor to serve you as your chairman. With much respect and appreciation, myself.
Does anyone here want to actually let him go?
I believe we need to make the motion.
Motion. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll make a motion that we accept with regret his his resignation effective December 4th midnight.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And just a note before we get out of here tonight, they've asked for our pictures, so before we get done this evening,
Are we doing that?
yes, we have to adjourn our meeting. Can I have a motion for adjournment? It's not recess, right? It's adjournment?
Adjourn and
it's
go into
adjourned.
special.
Okay.
It's adjourned.
Okay. Special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority, Tourism Development Budget Authorities.
Hold on, we got to adjourn this meeting first.
It'd be appropriate to entertain a motion to
Okay.
adjourn
Can I have a
the
motion to
Board
adjourn?
of Commissioners.
Make a
meeting.
motion to adjourn this meeting and move into the special meeting for the Tourism Development Authority.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority, Tourism Development Budget Amendments.
Mr. Scanlon.
Mr. Scanlon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have 2 budget amendments tonight for your consideration as the Tourism Development Authority. The first one is to recognize a grant from the Outer Banks Community Foundation, and the second one is to provide a internal movement of money to help offset the cost that the county incurred to clean up after the last storms. And I'll be happy to answer any specific questions you might have.
Questions?
Are these separate motions or one motion?
One can do it.
Okay.
Okay. Can I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passes unanimously. And can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting of the TDA.
So, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, special meeting of the Ocean Sands Water and Sewer District Board.
Mr. Chairman, you also have 2 budget amendments for your consideration as the Ocean Sands Water and Sewer District Board. The first one, much like the last one, is to move money associated with additional pumping operations that the plant had to do during the storms in July. And the second one is to move monies around to replace some pumps. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions? Thank you. Second?
Second it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? No? Thank you. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimously. And need a motion to adjourn the meeting of the Outer
So
Banks.
moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. And we need to adjourn or come back, call back?
Nope, no, we're already adjourned.
Okay.
We're done.
Okay.
We're done.